Have you guys ever experienced a blackout? When a blackout happens, didn't you guys feel stuffed? We can watch TV, turn the lights on, and do many other things. Nowadays, the world relies on electricity a lot. So, how do you make electricity? There are various ways to make electricity. In my opinion, the nuclear energy is the best way to produce electricity. Before I talk about nuclear energy, we have to know what a nuclear energy is and how it's made. Take a look at this picture. I got this picture from a website named Nuclear Power Plant. This picture shows what kind of stuffs are in the nuclear power plant and also shows the procedure of making the electricity. Nuclear energy is the energy which is released from the nucleus of an atom. It produces tons of energy when a nuclear reaction occurs, whether it's fission or a fusion. Just like other power plants produce electricity, a nuclear reactor produces the same way. The chain reaction generates the energy. The energy turns water into steam. The steam releases a pressure. The steam pressure is directed to turn a turbine that is coupled to a generator, unlike power plants create a heat. Now, since we know what a nuclear energy is and how it's made, let's talk about why we need nuclear energy. There are many other methods of producing nuclear energy, but one of the reasons why I think nuclear energy is the best is its efficiencies. According to the website named Conserve Energy Future, the nuclear reactors provide grand baseload electricity and create and operate power over 90% of the time. The periods between refueling have been considerably extended. Also, downtime for refueling has been remarkably minimized. Some people might think that the cost of nuclear energy is very expensive. However, that is not true. There are two significant resources people use, which are fossil fuel and a nuclear energy. Compared to cost of fossil fuel, the cost of nuclear power is more competitive and stable. In a fossil fuels case, if the market is good, the oil prices are stable. But if the market is volatile, the oil prices might drop or shoot up. However, this does not happen to nuclear energy. If we see solar cells, wind turbines, and growing biomass, they occupy many spaces. However, a nuclear power station is compact, which means it covers an area of the size of a football stadium and the surroundings. Right now, people are sensitive about money, so money issues are important too. To make nuclear energy, it needs uranium. Uranium is cheap compared to others. Even though the cost of building a nuclear power plant is reasonably high, the expense of running them is low. According to the website named Conserve Energy Future, the nuclear reactor can run about 40 to 60 years, depending on how it's being used and depending on how often it is used. It is estimated that with the current rate of usage of uranium, the world has enough uranium for about 70 to 80 years. A nuclear power plant, when in the mode of producing electric energy, can run for a year. However, wind and solar energy are dependent upon conditions, whether a nuclear power plant has no constraints and can run without disruption in any climate conditions. Nuclear energy is one of the significant sources of power through the country. The best part is that nuclear energy has persistent supply. Compared to fossil fuels that are used in the same capacity, the nuclear energy is broadly accessible. It is believed that supply is going to last much longer, and there's a lot of in storage. Other shift point of interest in utilizing nuclear energy is that it is more proficient and more compelling than other energy resources. Due to the energy innovation, it became more possible choices than others. Compared to fossil fuels, the nuclear energy has higher energy density. The amount of fuel required by nuclear power is relatively less than what is needed by power plants, as the energy released by nuclear fusion is about 10 million times greater than the amount of energy released by fossil fuel atom. There are some people thinking that nuclear energy is not environmentally friendly. However, that is not true. Other than its efficiencies, the nuclear energy is environmentally friendly source of energy. Take a look at this picture. I got this picture from a website named World Nuclear Association. This picture shows the greenhouse emission occurred by each natural resources. As we can see from this graph, nuclear energy makes less greenhouse emission than the lignite, coal, oil, natural gas, solar panel, and biomass. By seeing this graph, we can easily catch that nuclear energy is so eco-friendly compared to other natural resources. After an industrial revolution, people started to use natural resources excessively because of the excessive use of natural resources, the earth began to get damaged. For example, many plants and animals extinct, and many rainforest mountains disappeared. And since these happen nowadays, people face many natural disasters. The most significant natural disaster we face is global warming. So, people started to think and put much effort to protect the environment. The nuclear energy is environmentally friendly compared to other energy. The nuclear energy has the least effect on nature because unlike others, it does not discharge any greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane. There is no destructive impact on land, water, or any territories because of the utilization of nuclear power, except in times where transportation is utilized. Right now, there are many debates going on about nuclear energy because of the Chernobyl nuclear accident and the Fukushima nuclear accident. However, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, right now there are about 451 nuclear power plants around the world. This number is large enough to tell that using nuclear energy is a smart decision. Also, since the world is developing dramatically, I am sure that in the future the world will solve the disadvantages of nuclear energy. To sum up, the nuclear energy is very efficient and we should use this. Thank you for listening.